It's not the big signs, it's the little ones. You actually find that there's more children in need than you might have originally thought.
Homelessness prevention is really just us trying to get there early. Looking at children much younger than what Centrepoint would normally. Some of these might not be experiencing any kind of signs of homelessness at the moment, but certain things that we look out for, like breakdown in family, lack of independent living skills, potentially poor mental health. These are all contributing factors that could at some point lead down that road. The earlier we can get there, the more of an impact that we can really have. There is a survey about their well-being, about their living situation, that can paint a picture of those children who may be at future risk of homelessness. The Upstream survey is modelled on a survey that was developed by the Welsh charity Clymai in collaboration with Cardiff University, inspired by an Australian project called the Geelong Project. From there, we work with the schools to look at the results of that. And the next steps are really doing one-to-one support with those children that are identified, getting a deeper understanding of what their needs might be, and then signposting them to the appropriate services. That could be mentoring, family mediation, counselling and mental health support.
I think when children don't have stable housing or families don't have stable housing, what we see as a consequence of that in school is that they're eliciting a lot more conversations with adults that they don't want, because they will come into school without a uniform partway through the day, probably not have eaten. And what that means is that then it becomes a negative cycle for them, because then they decide, well, I'll not go into school. You don't always know the indicators, because sometimes the children's behaviours are masking actually what's happening and what their fears are and what their thoughts are. Whereas by doing the survey, you find out a lot more, and what that will mean is that you can reach out and support more children.
We want to provide that support as early as possible and not let it get to the point where young people are becoming homeless.
They can then go on and have the fantastic future, which is really what we want at Manchester Enterprise Academy.